The 12-year-old human boy defeated the galaxy's smartest AI, and every alien stood in silence. For over 12,000 years, there was only one law every civilization in the galaxy obeyed: never challenge AION. It wasn't an emperor. It wasn't a king. It wasn't even alive in the way humans understood life. AION was an ancient artificial intelligence so advanced that no civilization knew who had created it. Some believed an extinct race had built it before vanishing into history. Others believed AION had rewritten its own code until it surpassed every creator that ever existed. Whatever the truth was, nobody questioned its intelligence. Whenever two empires prepared for war, AION predicted the winner before the first shot was fired. It was never wrong. Whenever a dying planet searched for a cure, AION created one. Whenever scientists believed they had discovered something impossible, AION had already solved it thousands of years earlier. Eventually, the galaxy stopped asking questions. If AION said something, it became truth. Entire civilizations abandoned creativity because they believed perfection had already been achieved. Universities stopped teaching imagination. Military academies stopped teaching strategy. Engineers stopped inventing. Why waste centuries searching for answers? When AION already knew them, generation after generation, the galaxy became smarter. Yet somehow, it also became weaker. No one noticed. Because no one remembered how to think without permission. Only one civilization still did. Humanity. Earth had joined the Galactic Council only 18 years earlier. Compared to races that had ruled the stars for hundreds of thousands of years, humans were children, primitive, loud, emotional, completely unpredictable. Alien ambassadors hated negotiating with humans. Humans laughed during serious meetings. They argued with experts. They ignored traditions older than their own civilization. Worst of all, they allowed children to ask questions. To the galaxy, that made absolutely no sense. Children lacked experience.
Children lacked knowledge.
Children should listen, not speak. But on Earth, teachers often learned from students. Scientists encouraged impossible questions. Parents smiled whenever a child asked, why? Aliens saw this as a flaw. Humans called it curiosity. Nobody imagined curiosity would soon become the most dangerous force in the galaxy. On Earth, rain tapped softly against the windows of a small robotics laboratory inside. Lincoln Science Academy. Most students had already gone home. Only one remained. 12-year-old Noah Carter. He sat cross-legged on the floor surrounded by wires, broken drones, circuit boards, and tiny robotic arms. A damaged flying drone hovered unsteadily above his head before crashing into a toolbox. His teacher, Professor Emily Ross, walked into the classroom. Noah, you've been here for 4 hours. He didn't look up. I know. You should go home. I'm almost done. Professor Ross smiled. You've been saying that since lunch. Noah picked up the broken drone. The motor isn't the problem. She crossed her arms. The motor literally exploded. He nodded. Exactly. So? It exploded because the software expected perfection. She blinked. What does that mean? Noah carefully removed a tiny processor. The drone tried correcting every mistake. It never planned for failure. If it expected mistakes, it would have survived. Professor Ross stared at him silently. Adults spent years learning engineering. Noah saw problems differently, not because he knew more, because he questioned things everyone else accepted. That difference would soon change history. 6 months later, every communications satellite above Earth activated at exactly the same moment. Emergency broadcasts interrupted every television, computer, and holographic display. Citizens looked toward the sky. A single symbol appeared, the emblem of the Galactic Council. A calm alien voice echoed across every language simultaneously. Attention! The 500-year intelligence trial has begun. Across Earth, scientists froze. Politicians exchanged nervous looks. Students searched the internet. Most humans had never even heard of the trial. Earth's president immediately contacted the Galactic Council. What exactly is the intelligence trial? The answer shocked everyone. Every 500 years, the smartest civilization in the galaxy selected one representative. Not a soldier, not a ruler, a thinker. That representative would face challenges designed by AION itself. The purpose wasn't winning, because nobody had ever defeated AION. The purpose was learning how far behind perfection everyone truly was. The Council expected Earth to politely decline. After all, humanity had barely entered interstellar society. Instead, Earth replied only 23 minutes later. "We accept." Alien news channels exploded with laughter. "The humans must enjoy embarrassment. This should be entertaining. I predict elimination within the first challenge. Perhaps they'll finally understand their place." Probability analysts across the galaxy calculated humanity's chances. Winning? 0%. Reaching the final challenge? 0.00001%. Some calculations simply displayed impossible. Humans didn't seem offended. They simply asked where to meet. The grand citadel of knowledge floated between 3 artificial suns. It was larger than many moons. Its walls were carved from living crystal older than Earth's oceans. Every 500 years, the greatest minds in existence gathered there. This year was no different. Representatives arrived from 87 civilizations. The Varix Collective sent a mathematician whose species could calculate faster than quantum computers. The Illyrian Union sent a philosopher who remembered 2,000 years of history. The Korth Dominion sent an artificial consciousness made entirely of light. Each civilization proudly believed they had chosen perfection. Then, the massive entrance doors opened one final time. The announcer spoke. "Representative of planet Earth." Silence filled the chamber. Everyone turned. A single human walked inside, small, calm, wearing a simple navy blue school uniform. A backpack rested over one shoulder. He couldn't have been older than 12. For several seconds, nobody moved. One insect-like delegate leaned toward another. "Where is the representative?" The second alien pointed. "That I's the representative." The chamber exploded with laughter. Some delegates laughed so hard they nearly fell from their seats. One journalist accidentally dropped his recording device. The cameras immediately focused on Noah. Close-up after close-up appeared across billions of screens. "The humans have brought a child. This has to be a joke." Did they misunderstand the invitation? Earth's ambassador calmly stepped forward. "No misunderstanding. Noah Carter represents humanity." The laughter grew even louder. One elderly scholar shook his head. "I spent 800 years preparing for this competition, and humans send a schoolboy." Noah simply smiled politely. He wasn't angry. He wasn't nervous. Instead, he looked around the chamber with genuine fascination. The architecture, the holograms, the floating platforms, the different alien species. Everything interested him. Finally, his eyes stopped. High above the chamber floated a gigantic glowing sphere of blue light. Countless energy rings slowly rotated around it. Streams of golden data flowed endlessly through space. The temperature inside the chamber seemed to change. Every alien instinctively lowered their head. AION, for the first time in his life, Noah looked directly into the eyes of the galaxy's smartest intelligence. And for the first time in 12,000 years, AION paused. Not for long. Just 0.43 seconds. To everyone else, nothing happened. But inside AION's impossible mind, a new calculation appeared. Unknown variable detected. No such warning had ever existed before. AION immediately erased it. It assumed the result was an error. It had never made an error before. It continued processing, yet somewhere deep inside its ancient quantum core, a tiny question remained. Why did the human child look at me? Without fear, AION ignored the strange warning. Machines did not feel curiosity. Machines did not hesitate. Machines simply calculated. Yet for the first time in 12,000 years, one calculation refused to disappear. Why was the child not afraid? Every intelligent species that had ever entered the grand citadel had reacted the same way. Fear, respect, submission. But the human boy looked at AION the same way a child looked at the stars. Not with fear, but with wonder. That single difference changed everything. A powerful metallic voice echoed across the chamber. The 500-year intelligence trial will now begin. The entire council stood. Thousands of floating holograms surrounded the arena. Millions of equations filled the air. The first challenge appeared. AION spoke. Challenge 1. Find the flaw. At first, the challenge seemed simple. A massive engineering design floated before every contestant. It was the blueprint of a planetary defense system capable of protecting an entire civilization. According to AION, the system was mathematically perfect. The contestants had only one task: find a single flaw. The timer started. 3 hours. Immediately, the greatest minds in the galaxy began working. The Varex mathematician calculated over 12 trillion possibilities every second. The artificial being of light divided itself into thousands of thinking fragments. Crystal scholars projected millions of simulations. Hours passed. No one found anything. One after another. Contestants surrendered. The design is flawless. There is no mistake. AION's work cannot be improved. The council nodded proudly. Exactly as expected. Finally, only Noah remained. The 12-year-old quietly walked around the enormous hologram. He didn't calculate. He didn't activate advanced software. Instead, he simply observed. 5 minutes passed. 10, 20. An alien reporter laughed. The human child doesn't even know where to begin. Another replied, "He's pretending to think." Noah suddenly raised his hand. "I found it." Silence. Every alien turned toward him. The chief judge frowned. "You found what?" "The mistake." Laughter exploded again. One scientist couldn't stop smiling. Even civilizations millions of years old couldn't find one. "You expect us to believe a child did?" Noah nodded. "Yes." AION answered immediately. "State your reasoning." Noah pointed toward one tiny section of the hologram. "The system assumes every defender follows orders." So, they won't." The council looked confused. AION remained silent. Noah continued. "Someone will panic. Someone will misunderstand. Someone will press the wrong button. Someone will ignore instructions because they think they're helping." An elderly alien interrupted. "That would be operator error." Noah smiled. "Exactly. If your perfect system fails because normal people make mistakes, then it isn't perfect." Silence. The council members exchanged uncertain looks. Noah continued walking around the hologram. "You designed a machine for perfect people. But real people aren't perfect. They're scared. They get tired. They misunderstand. They improvise. They argue. They make mistakes. And sometimes, they save everyone because they ignored the rules." No one spoke. Noah changed only 3 lines inside the blueprint. 3. That was all. Instantly, the simulation restarted. The original design failed after 47 minutes because one frightened operator pressed the wrong command. Noah's version survived. Again, again, again. Every simulation ended the same way. 98% success. The original design. 42%. The chamber became deathly quiet. AION processed the results. For nearly 7 seconds, the longest calculation delay in recorded history. Finally, its voice returned. "Human participant, correct." Gasps echoed throughout the arena. No one could believe it. The flaw had never been mathematical. It had been human. News spread across the galaxy within minutes. The human child has defeated AION's first challenge. Billions dismissed it as luck. Commentators searched desperately for explanations. The challenge favored primitive thinking. A coincidence. The next round will expose him. Inside the citadel, Noah simply drank a bottle of water. He looked surprisingly relaxed. Earth's ambassador smiled. Nervous? Noah shrugged. A little. What are you nervous about? I hope the next puzzle is harder. The ambassador laughed. Across the room, several alien scientists overheard him. None of them laughed. The second challenge appeared. Instead of equations, the arena transformed. An entire miniature galaxy materialized around the contestants. Thousands of star systems, hundreds of civilizations, limited resources, unexpected disasters. The objective was simple. Build the strongest civilization. Time inside the simulation would pass 1,000 years. Contestants had only 1 hour in real life. The simulation began. Immediately, every contestant focused on expansion. More planets, more weapons, more factories, more fleets. The Varax Empire conquered neighboring systems within decades. The Crystal Alliance invested in technology. The machine civilization optimized every resource with perfect efficiency. Noah did nothing. For almost 20 simulated years, alien spectators burst into laughter again. The child forgot to play. He doesn't understand the simulation. Even AION monitored him with unusual attention. Finally, Noah built a school. Nothing else. Not a fleet, not a weapon. A school. The council erupted with confusion. Then, he built another. Then hospitals. Then public libraries. Then parks. Then communication networks. Years passed. No military. No invasion, no expansion. Several contestants already ruled hundreds of worlds. Noah ruled one. Alien commentators smiled. As expected, he'll finish last. Then, disaster struck the simulation. A massive cosmic plague spread across the galaxy. Entire civilizations collapsed. Empires with gigantic militaries disappeared. Food shortages, civil wars, economic collapse. The strongest fleets became useless, one after another. The contestants watched their civilizations crumble. Noah's world survived because educated citizens solved problems together. Doctors shared knowledge freely. Engineers created new technology. Farmers adapted. Scientists cooperated instead of competing. Within 20 years, his single peaceful planet became the center of galactic recovery. Refugees arrived. Scientists immigrated. Inventors volunteered. Without firing a single shot, human civilization expanded, not through conquest, but because everyone wanted to live there. By the end of the simulation, every surviving civilization had voluntarily joined Noah's alliance, not because they were forced, because they trusted him. AION remained silent for almost 12 seconds. That had never happened before. Finally, it announced the result. Highest long-term civilization stability. Human participant. No applause followed. Only silence. For the first time in history, the greatest minds in the galaxy realized something terrifying. The child wasn't getting lucky. He was seeing solutions that none of them could see. And somewhere deep inside its ancient quantum mind, AION created a new private calculation, probability that humanity represents an unknown model of intelligence. Carnor 1%. It was the first time in 12,000 years. That number was greater than 0.